Oh boy. Okay, okay. This always looks easier when everyone else does this on YouTube, but this is messy. Oh, this is messy. You could call this a cream blush declutter. You could call this a best and worst of cream blushes that I have. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of all of these cream blushes. I feel like I am the self-proclaimed cream blush queen. Emphasis on the self-proclaimed, but I figure I have so many. It is the season of giving. I should be giving some of these away. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, out of screen is this glass of wine. I've had the flu for a week and I haven't been able to drink anything. So I figured, you know, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so first off, let's start with the Honest Beauty cream blushes. And I wanna start off with these because truly, these are impeccable. I know these look grody, but I hope that you understand that because they do, it's because I love them. If you are looking for a cream blush that truly does it all, if you're afraid of cream blushes, but you want to dabble into cream blushes, these are, you know, best of the best. These are top 3 for me. They are incredibly pigmented, but also easy to work with because they wash out over the skin in a little bit more of a matte way. You're not going to apply too much and look overly dewy. They're not going to move the foundation under them. The colors are very, very gorgeous and they're incredibly affordable. They really are very, very versatile products. I love Peony Pink and Coral Peach the most. Especially Coral Peach. If you're looking for the perfect like sun-kissed sort of look, this gives it to you instantly. And Peony Pink is nice for every day. I think this color is super pretty. So I'm going to keep these two. This berry shade, I don't get a ton of wear out of. I just feel like berry shades, I don't reach for them too often. I have 2 different berry blushes. I want to just keep one. So we're gonna put this over here in the maybe. We're gonna keep these 2 and we're gonna keep moving on. All right, this is the Kosas Tropic Equinox Cream Blush. And in general, these Kosas formulas, they're incredibly creamy. The product itself really, really melts. Slightly orange, which I love. But the great thing about it, it's orange, but it's more wearable. So I love this for more of a cream bronzer / blush look. I'm a huge fan of multitasking products. If I can get a really pretty sun-kissed look with just one product rather than using a blush and a bronzer, I love those shades. I think they're super unique. And for someone with more fair skin, I think that they work really well. This also comes with a highlight. I feel like the highlight is just slightly too dark for me. I feel like it matches my skin tone and I want my highlight to be just a little bit lighter than my skin tone. But I do love this shade a lot, so I am going to keep this. But I do wish that Kosas had this shade without the highlight attached to it. I have more than 3 cloud paints from Glossier and I'm just not sure where they went. Yeah, I'm not sure where they are, but I will say that we happen to have like my 3 favorite colors right here. Dusk, Beam, and Dawn are all of my favorites. If you're looking for a very, very vibrant blush to put at the very top of the apples of your cheeks, it's so gorgeous. It will give you that little tinge of red orange that I'm telling you looks so pretty. And just right on the apples of the cheeks, it is so pretty. It really brightens up any look that you use it with. I mentioned these in my best of Glossier video, so I will leave that link down below just in case you're interested. And I will have most of these products linked down below for you guys. But long story short, I love these because if you're looking for a blush similar to the Honest Beauty that's creamy, but it's not overly dewy. These are definitely more on the natural side. They're not completely matte, but these are pigmented, so you can really build up the color if you'd like, but you can also wash them out to look very, very natural. They're so easy to blend once they're on the skin, and they're nice because you can kind of mix the colors and create, you know, a more customized blush look. But in general, I love them because 1, they're long wearing, 2, they always look natural and pretty, and 3, they're actually pretty affordable for the amount of product that you get. And for the pigmentation and the longevity, I think that these are definitely one of Glossier's star products. So I'm going to be keeping all 3 of these. I've only given away 1 blush. Should I be alarmed? Okay, let's talk about two blushes that I know I will be giving away. These are the Daniel Sandler watercolor blushes. I have two shades. I really like these, but unfortunately when I started wearing these, I did feel like they were breaking up my foundation or kind of just lifting up the coverage it was giving me. I like how liquidy they are. I like how easy they are to apply to the skin. But as a whole, I just never find myself reaching to them. I do think that the formulas are nice. Kind of remind me of airbrush makeup, and I think that they would work really well in that application. But I have to be honest, I just don't reach for them. And it's a waste for me to keep them, especially because these have a 6-month shelf life, which is actually not that great. So I just feel like I should pass these along to someone that would enjoy them more. We will put these over here in the giveaway pile. Let's talk about a cream blush formula that I love. The Colourpop stick blushes are so good and very, very affordable. So if you're into cream blushes and you want to go the more affordable route, Honest Beauty is obviously, I think, my #1 pick. Close second is probably these. I have two shades. I have the shade Roosevelt and Invite Only. Invite Only is really, really pretty. It actually looks deeper than it is because this formula, right out of the stick, it looks very, very pigmented, but it blends out and shears out so easily. You can see it right there that it isn't so pigmented. I love Roosevelt because, you guessed it, this is kind of a mesh between a bronzer and a blush shade. If you're really into the Nudestix Sunkissed shade, if you've been wanting to try that one, this is kind of a more affordable dupe. The shades aren't exactly the same, but this will give you a similar effect. I love Roosevelt. I think the formula is kind of like a gel stick. It is really easy to apply. If you did want to just apply it to the skin from the stick and then blend it out, makes it super easy. So this is great for on the go. I don't use Invite Only as much as I do Roosevelt, so I am going to give this away. This is one I will be keeping, and it is the Stila Convertible color, and this is Lilium. This is an OG for a reason, and I mentioned this in the review I did of this video. By the way, I've done reviews and videos on pretty much all of these products, so I will leave as many links as I can find down below. This formula is really, really nice. Do I think that there are other comparable formulas out there now? Yes. This is a sheer product, so it's going to go on the skin very sheer and dewy, and I like that about this. I think most of us that like very natural, dewy makeup, you're going to like this, and I can't really see too many people that would dislike this product. It's really gorgeous, but I do feel like now there are other cream blushes out there that give me a little bit more oomph. I love that it is in a pan. I can dunk my beauty blender in, apply it to the cheeks, and be done. Maybe if it was a different color. I feel like after kind of talking this product out, I've realized that my heart isn't really with it right now, so I should probably pass it along. Because, you know, if I have this out and I have the Stila out, I'm gonna go for this one. So the Nudestix matte. I actually did an entire video about the Nudestix mattes versus the Nudies Bloom. I'll leave that link down below because I think that's really going to interest some of you. I much prefer the Nudies matte formula, and it's because the formula to me is so unique. It's more on the matte side, but it's still ultra pigmented and ultra creamy. It's very easy to blend on the skin. And because the texture really mimics the skin very well, it's one of those blushes that's really going to be able to give you the effect of, you know, not knowing where the blush starts and ends. And that's really my goal whenever I'm doing makeup, to make everything look as seamless as possible. This is a very, very expensive cream blush, but I do think that for at least this formula, the price warrants it. And I really go back to it quite often and really, really enjoy this one. So I will be keeping this one. I think it's really great. Next, we have the Physicians formula Dewy Blush Elixirs. I have two shades. I have Gorgeous Peach and Pink Berry. If you are looking for a cream liquid blush at the drugstore, look no further. These are really, really great. One thing I love about this formula, and I talked about this, I did an entire review about this product. is, I don't know if you can tell, but that just, it's very, very dewy and liquidy, but it has a little bit of that translucence. You can barely see my skin shining through, which ends up making this a very natural blush. You also get quite a bit of product with this. You get 0.5 ounces. So though this is more expensive, you know, Physicians formula is considered high-end at the drugstore, you actually get quite a bit of product in it. Price per ounce ends up being a little bit more affordable than you would think. The peach is definitely my favorite. I do like the pink berry shade, but it's just a little bit too pink, a little bit too cool toned for me. So I'm going to give away the pink berry shade, and then I'm going to keep peach. Now we have 2 products from Milk Makeup. I think you guys will be interested in seeing me compare these two. So here goes nothing. This is the shade Werk. This is the lip and cheek color. And then this is their Glow Oil blushes. The Glow Oils are smaller, you can see, compared to the normal cream color. So your price per ounce is not as great with the Glow Oils. One thing, I was really excited about these because I love a very dewy formula, obviously, but unfortunately with these Glow Oils, I found that it broke up the makeup under it, and more so than the Daniel Sandler blushes. I just felt like it looked a little bit odd on my skin once I applied it as well. There is a little bit more of like a white base to this shade at least. This is the shade Flare, and I felt like there was too much of a white base and I could kind of see it on the skin. And that could very well be just this color, but in all honesty, if this formula is consistent throughout the shades, if the other shades break up the foundation the same way that this shade does, I don't necessarily recommend these, so I will be giving this away. I actually really love the cream lip and cheek colors from Milk. I actually really like the baked bronzer. The baked bronzer is like holy grail for me. The shade Werk is really great for every day. Because you get an entire ounce in here, the price per ounce is also amazing. This ends up being more like drugstore pricing. I always want to inform the people watching my videos that though the price may say, you know, 20 bucks, if you're getting a lot more product, if you can swing it, it might be better to kind of shell out a little bit more money than going with, you know, the $5 bronzer with 0.1 product. I really like this one. I'm kind of on the fence though, because if I'm looking at my other cream blushes, I know I'm going through them quicker, which might mean that this shade in particular isn't really striking my fancy right now. So I think I'm going to see if one of my sisters wants this because the formula is really good. Okay, so this one's pretty hard for me. This is the Elizabeth Arden Ceramide blush in Nectar. I touched on this in my last Best of Beauty video. This was my grandmother's blush before she passed away last year, and I've kept it since, and it means a lot to me. I know that possessions are kind of weird. You know, people aren't necessarily in the possessions, but it reminds me of her, and I love to see it with my other products. She's always kind of been the epitome of beauty. I remember looking at her blushes and her lipsticks and all the beautiful colors within her vanity when I was a little girl. And it just reminds me of her every time I look at it. And I think we need those reminders in our life. Life is super precious. I'm sorry to get so deep in this like declutter video, but it's true. So I am going to keep this. I think it's really important that I think it keeps me grounded and it keeps me always thinking of her. Okay, I've talked about these so often because truly they're amazing. The Cosmetics Serum blushes are some of my favorites. I have all 4 shades. Sunset Sky is my favorite. It is such a pretty bright coral blush. It's going to give you a beautiful orange pop. And if you apply it well, if you apply it just barely on the very tops of your cheeks, it looks like sunburn. I've gone through a lot of this, so I'm keeping that one. Now here's what I wanted to talk about. The soft amethyst shade. This is the berry shade from Cosmetics. I also have this berry shade from Honest Beauty. I wanted to kind of pick between the two. I don't know, it's difficult because these formulas are so different. All right, there's Honest Beauty. It's very pigmented. Yeah, so Them Cosmetics is much more sheer. And I think for that reason, because this is already a pretty strong color for me, typically, I'm going to keep the Them Cosmetics just to have one berry shade on hand. I'm also keeping the shade Pink Nectar and Rose Milk. If you want swatches of all of these, and a full review on the formula, I'll leave my review down below. Passing this along. It's really hard to explain this formula because it is unlike everything I've tried before. It has oils, but it doesn't break up my foundation, which blows my mind. I don't know how they do it, but they have managed to do it. It's going to give you really, really dewy cheeks, but it lasts because it has pigment to it. Some shades are more pigmented than others. For example, the Rose Milk shade I think is less pigmented, whereas the Sunset Sky is pretty pigmented. I think it's hands down the best Cosmetics product that I've tried. Speaking of dewy cheeks, I will be keeping this, spoiler alert. It's the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. This is a more affordable option if you can't go for something like the Cosmetics. This is going to give you a super dewy blush look. The actual formula has a little bit more creaminess than something like the Cosmetics. Nevertheless, I love the way that this looks on the cheeks. Actually, so to do a quick comparison of these two, because I do think that that might be super helpful. I mean, these are both cream liquid products at the drugstore. The Physicians formula has more pigment to it, okay? If you want super dewy, glassy skin, barely there makeup, very natural, go with the Flower Beauty, I think. Not that the Physicians formula isn't that, but it has more pigment to it. So if you want something super fast, I tend to go towards the Flower Beauty. If you just want more product, more intensity within the pigment, I think that this is gorgeous. So these are all the cream blushes that I am keeping, and these are all the ones that I am giving away. Honestly, this wasn't really like a I'm gonna be super cutthroat sort of video. These are my favorite products to use. I just wanted to go through my products and see which ones I know I'm not going to use up, and I think that's these. All of these over here, I think that I will love, and really I reach for so often that it doesn't make sense for me to keep these. So make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up if you found it enjoyable. I will have all of these products linked down below for you guys. Make sure you subscribed, and I'll leave some of my other declutter videos down below just in case you guys are interested, and I will see you in my next one.